So, 2024 into 2026 is turning out to be a genuinely great stretch for thriller TV. Like, better than I expected. And I watch a lot of this stuff, so when I say that, I mean it. We've got a spy thriller that somehow made me feel things I was not prepared to feel, a Hawaiian epic that throws you straight into the deep end with no life jacket, and the most deceptively calm political show that will absolutely break your brain by the end of episode 1. Hey y'all, I'm your host at Series Finder, just someone who genuinely cannot stop watching TV and figured, hey, might as well make it useful for other people. And look, all the streaming info, where to watch every single show on this list, that's all in the first pinned comment below. I put it there so you don't have to dig around. Go check it, bookmark it. Now let's get into it, starting from the bottom of our list and working our way up to the best of the best.
This morning, a man was killed on the South Bank. Was I the reason he...
So here's the thing about spy shows. Most of them are cold, slick, everybody's competent, everybody's dangerous, and the whole thing kinda keeps you at arm's length emotionally, which is fine, I enjoy that. But every once in a while, one of these shows sneaks up on you and turns into something you weren't expecting. Black Doves does that. It's got 2 leads, and I'll be careful here because part of the fun is discovering who these people are, and they are just magnetic together. The dynamic between them is like watching 2 people who absolutely should not trust each other and yet cannot function without each other. It's a friendship story as much as it is a spy thriller, and somehow it's also a Christmas show. I know how that sounds. It works. What I really appreciate about it, and this is something that's missing from a lot of action and crime content right now, is that the violence has weight. People die in this show, and you understand why and how they got there. That matters. It sounds like a small thing, but it makes the whole thing feel real in a way that most of this genre doesn't bother with. Also, it's genuinely funny at the right moments, not in a way that undercuts the tension, but in a way that feels true to how people actually behave under pressure. If you want something smart and gripping to put on any night of the week, this one delivers. That's Black Doves on Netflix. 1 season, very watchable.
When did you last see Cal Bradford alive?
I walked the president to his...
Okay, I am gonna say almost nothing about this one, and I mean that. The marketing for the show said almost nothing about it. The trailers gave you basically 0 plot. That was a deliberate choice, and after watching the first episode, I understand completely why they did that. What I can tell you is this. Sterling K. Brown is the lead. If you know him from other stuff, you already know he's one of the best working right now. He does something in this show that's hard to even describe. It's all in the quiet moments, the way he processes information on screen, the way you can see his character thinking. It's exceptional work. The genre is technically political thriller, but honestly, that label doesn't fully capture what this is. It's more than that. Creator Dan Fogelman, who did This Is Us, has a thing for mysteries that unfold in unexpected ways, and that skill is very much on display here. He plays with flashbacks maybe a little too much at times, but he's careful never to give you anything before you're ready for it. My advice? Trust the first episode. Don't look it up beforehand. Don't read anything about it. Just sit down and let it take you where it's going. You will thank me. That's Paradise, currently 2 seasons in and one of the most interesting things on TV right now.
If this island is divided, this kingdom will fall.
Historical epics have a problem, a very specific, very consistent problem. They almost always tell the story of another culture through the eyes of an outsider. Some foreigner shows up, learns the ways of the locals, becomes the audience's guide through a world they'd otherwise find inaccessible. Even some of the best recent examples of the genre do this. It's a crush, and most showrunners reach for it without even thinking. Chief of War does not do this, not even a little. This is the story of Hawaii's unification, and it is told entirely from the perspective of the indigenous people. No outsider avatar, no foreigner who conveniently needs everything explained to them, and by extension, to you. The first few episodes are in Hawaiian. You just have to be present and pay attention. And I'll tell you what, it is worth every second of that effort.
The kingdom.
Co-created by and starring someone you will absolutely recognize, this show is loaded with action, political intrigue, mythology, and genuinely beautiful cinematography. It is lush and warm and alive in a way that a lot of prestige TV, which tends to go gray and grim, just doesn't bother with anymore. There's been some discussion about where it was filmed, I hear you, but the care that went into the storytelling, the commitment to the indigenous perspective, that's not nothing. That's actually pretty rare. Chief of War is on Apple TV+. Give it the time it's asking for.
Real quick, if you're liking this list, click subscribe. I put out videos regularly specifically so you never have to scroll through a streaming service wondering what to watch next. Okay, back to the shows.
You learn to fight.
This one was created by the same person who made Peaky Blinders, and I'll tell you right now, if you loved that show and you've been a little lost since it ended, this one was made for you. It's set in Victorian London, 1880s, and it follows three outsiders: a female pickpocket running an all-female crime gang, a bare-knuckle boxing champion who also sells goods at a market during the day because apparently he had a lot of energy, and a Jamaican lion tamer who gets pulled into all of it. What the show does really well is take conflicts that are as old as time, wealth and class, gender discrimination, racial injustice, and give them a modern urgency without making the whole thing feel like a lecture.
My name is Hezekiah Masco, and I am here to fight like my people are watching.
Dialogue is sharp, like consistently sharp, the kind where you want to rewind 2 seconds to catch what you just heard. The standout performance for me is the lion tamer, Hezekiah Moscow. Every single scene he's in, he owns completely. The physical performance in the fight sequences is excellent. The emotional work between the action beats is even better. He's gonna be a big deal. 2 seasons are already out, which, if you're like me and you hate finishing something good and having nothing left to watch, that's welcome news. This is one of the best things in the period drama space right now. 1,000 Blows is on Hulu. Don't sleep on it.
And if you cross my family, well,
Look, I know what you're thinking when you see a mob show starring Tom Hardy. You think, I have seen this before. Maybe not this exact thing, but something very close to it, multiple times. And you're not wrong. The mob genre has been done again, done once more for good measure. Here's what I'll say about MOBLAND. It knows that. It knows you've seen this before, and it decides to just be really, really good at it anyway. Tom Hardy plays the fixer for a London crime family. Pierce Brosnan and Helen Mirren are also in this, and both of them are doing exactly what you want them to do in a show like this. The cast does not waste a single scene.
I think we have a situation developing.
you don't ask.
What makes Hardy's performance interesting is the range of it. He's dangerous when he needs to be, obviously, but he's also surprisingly polite, deadpan funny in moments you don't see coming, and in the quieter scenes, genuinely poignant in a way that catches you off guard. The shifts in tone never feel jarring, they feel earned. Under Guy Ritchie's direction, and this is a guy who has been making this kind of movie and TV for a long time, all the moving parts land cleanly. It shouldn't be this entertaining, and yet, if you want something stylish, enjoyable, and very confidently made, MOBLAND is on Paramount+. 1 season so far.
I need you out in the field. There's been a spate of...
All right, number 1, and I want to be upfront with you about something. This show starts slow, deliberately slow. The kind of slow where in the first episode you might find yourself thinking, okay, I've seen this setup before. Cop and criminal, parallel lives, unlikely connection. It's not a new concept. But here's the thing about Task. It's from the same team that made Mare of Easttown. If you watch that show, you know what I'm talking about. You know the patience, the character work that accumulates quietly and then hits you all at once. The refusal to take shortcuts. Task has all of that. Once it gets going, the action sequences are some of the best choreographed stuff I've seen in this genre in years, and the 2 central performances give the show real weight.
You're the only family I got left.
You're not gonna ruin their lives just because you ruined yours.
You understand these 2 men. You understand how they got to where they are. That understanding is what turns what could have been a familiar premise into something genuinely affecting. This is not a show that hooks you in 30 seconds. It's gonna ask for your patience. Give it 2, maybe 3 episodes before you make a call, because by the end, when everything the show has been building finally lands, you're gonna be very glad you stuck around. Task is on Paramount. 1 season. Go watch it.
And that's the list. As always, streaming availability for all of these is in the first pinned comment. Go grab it. And if you found a show on this list you're going to watch, let me know in the comments. I genuinely like hearing which ones land for people. Subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next one.